Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm late. While I pull up my chat, I'll just remind you that my name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. All right. So happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know that my weekend was not quite long enough, but it was good. Yesterday I went swimming with the family, spent time with the kids this weekend, had a good weekend. So in general, it was cool. I hope you guys have positive things to report today as well. Good morning, Amal. Good morning, Bonnie. Oh, Amal says, am I really the first? Haha. Yes, you are, my friend. Yes, you are. Good morning. Hey, Hair Changes Color. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning. I'm happy to see you today. Let's see here. Oops, wait a minute. I have lost. Melissa Duncan says, did you get my email? Yes, I think that I did, Melissa, and I should be responding to you today. I just started going through my emails this morning that I haven't seen all of them yet. And Melissa, I do believe I saw yours, and I will be responding today. I don't know why my thing is doing this, but let me just fix that. Okay. All right, you guys are here. Okay. DJ J Love in the house. Good morning, DJ J Love. Scott Johnson says, hi, Angie. How was your weekend? Can't complain. How was yours, Scott? Hey, Ellen May. She says, hi, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. How you doing? Jamie B says, good morning, beautiful survivors. Good morning, beautiful Jamie B. How are you today? Emily Driftwood in the house. Hey, Emily. Martin Hill says, hi, Angie. Just wanted to know how to recover, overcome narcissistic financial abuse. Okay, we can talk about that today, Martin. Really quickly, it's going to have to start. I need to know more details about your situation, of course, Martin, but it would start with pulling away from the narcissist. It would start with, I offered some solutions in a video the other day. I'm sure that's where you're here, and thank you for being here. But let me know specifically what you're looking for. Timothy says, good morning, beautiful survivors. Hello, Timothy Geiser. How are you today, honey? Emily says, hey, everybody. Joyce says, narc-free weekend. Yay, Joyce. That's awesome news. Awesome news. Gray Realities. Good morning, Gray Realities. How are you? Electric. Oh, cool name. Hey, you're amazing. Well, thank you. So are you, honey. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Malta. Hello, Malta. How you doing, honey? Malta says, good morning, everyone. Our friendly chat mod up in the house today. Admin. Martin Hill says, good morning. Good morning, Martin. Again. Leah Carter. Hey, Leah Carter. Oh, Leah says, I'm proud. No contact since July 3rd. I think, like any addiction, we go through stages in moving past the abuse. I'm so thankful for all the support. Absolutely, we go through stages. That's the whole deal. And I'm so proud of you for noticing it. And congratulations on not having any contact for 7 whole days. That's amazing. Yay. Everybody, hands up for Leah Carter. That's amazing. Good morning, Dana Nicoletti. Dana, I did see your email today for sure, and I will be responding to you. Bonnie says, love coffee with Angie. Oh, yeah, you guys, I just drank the rest of my cup, but I'm using my dollar store cup today. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Jihan says, feeling ugly as hell, always needing validation from others, ashamed of being emotional and dramatic. I don't feel alone, even when I'm alone in a room. I can't get in touch with myself. Oh, Jihan, I totally understand how that feels. And number one, I'm guessing you're not an ugly person at all, but I understand feeling just like that. It gets better. Don't be ashamed of being emotional. That doesn't mean you're dramatic necessarily. A lot of times a narcissist twists our reality for us and tells us we're dramatic when we just have emotions that we express, and they don't like that. So, yeah. Happy Monday, Brian. Can everybody hear me and see me okay? Let's see. Electric says, how do you deal with a ghoster? Oh, somebody who just walks away when you're not expecting them to and they just leave you hanging. Well, the best thing you can do is go no contact, in my opinion. I guess tell me some more details on your ghoster, Electric, and maybe I can help better if I understand a little better. Living Kintsugi says, morning, how does one beat best describe narcissistic crazy behavior to a judge, woo, without sounding crazy or made to be the crazy one. I have a couple of videos on that. I think one of the biggest things that you can do is to stay calm and to specifically express, that you are being gaslighted and explain what that means. And, which is they say and do things to make you doubt your own reality. And I know that sounds crazy. Living, I suggest that you watch the videos that I have on how to explain a narcissist to other people. And then if you need additional help on that, let me know. All right. That's a place to start. Electric says, love you, Angie. How do you deal with a ghoster? Electric, give me a couple, and thank you. Give me a couple of details on your ghoster. Specifically, what are you dealing with so I can give you better advice that's specific to your situation. Good morning, Guardian Wolf. She says, good morning, Angie and fellow survivors. Malta says, Celia Carter, that's awesome. Oops. La, 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 la. I'm rolling back up because I lost my place. Okay. Hair Changes Color said, I had a bad week last week. Just needed a break from talking about the narcs. Oh, honey, I understand, and that's okay. It's totally okay. Jihan says, plain shocked, just plain shocked. Obsessions, can they be cured if they lasted for 2 years? Okay. Yeah, they can be cured, but you have to actively cultivate the cure. Does that make any sense? Stay focused on what you can control, not what you can't control. Start with intentional thought management, Jihan. So whenever you start to think things like, I'm ugly, or I'm not good enough, or I'm too dramatic, I want you to change those thoughts. Something that might be a really good exercise for you right now, Jihan, is to get a piece of paper, and on the left side of the paper, I want you to write down all the things about yourself that you believe because someone else told you they were true, or someone minimized you into believing they were true. And then I want you to write down all those things. Like you said you were ugly, which I don't believe. You said you were too dramatic, which I don't believe. Write down all those things. And then when you're finished writing down all those things, I want you to physically cross them out. And right next to them, I want you to write your new truth, or what is the truth for real. So when you say I'm ugly, write I'm ugly, cross it out, and write I'm beautiful. You see what I mean? And embrace the new truth, because you get to decide who you are, and you don't have to be those things that those people told you you were. Okay? Good morning, David H. David H. in the house. He's one of our awesome legal advisors. He's a detective, police detective, which I find very interesting. So if people have questions regarding police stuff today, let us know, because David is in the house. Hello, David. Let's see here. Melissa says, okay, great, Angie. Thanks. Look forward to hearing from you. Okay, my pleasure, honey. Jamie B says, oh, Brian, I saw your photo on Span and you looked awesome and happy and amazing. I love it. I need to go look at that. Guardian Wolf says, motivate me and crew. Yes, that's what we're here for, honey. All right, Dee Dee Biko says, good morning. Good morning, Dee Dee. And Emily Driftwood says, I saw the supply and the ex-narcissist last night, and he made out with her the whole night and not smiling once. I rocked my outfit, was the life of the party, and pitied them. So good to feel so strong and empowered. Emily, that is the best news I've heard all day. That's amazing. Congratulations. You guys, Emily needs some hands up today. Emily, that is such strength to see that and still be so amazing. I'm so proud of you. Good job. Good job, Emily. All right, let's see here. Leah Carter says, longest no contact was 6 weeks before. I've seen him in the prowl in his souped-up convertible Mustang, where it makes him literally change. But I know what's under the cover. Covert narc. Damn right. Yeah, good for you, Leah. I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. Gray realities. Big heart, gray realities. Love it. Melissa says, Angie, how to overcome being a codependent? Okay, this is a good question. Melissa, you start by changing your mind. You're not a codependent. I don't like that word, right? I know you're like, what? Okay, I don't like that word. I want you to recognize what you really are, and that's probably an empath, somebody who's very sensitive to other people's feelings and who has been taken advantage of because of it. Knowing that, you can change your focus, you can begin to have strength. The first thing you have to do is start to demand that you get what you deserve and nothing less, okay? So in a relationship, you come up with deal breakers. We've talked about this before. And you know, whatever your deal breakers are, you don't tolerate the break, okay? For example, if one of your deal breakers is you don't like mine. I have real basic ones. Don't hit me. Don't hit my kids. Don't cheat on me. Right. Yours might include don't speak to me rudely, or don't disrespect me, or don't call me a bitch, or whatever. Those things become your standards, whatever they are. And when I see a deal breaker, what I mean, okay, there are deal breakers, and then there are things that we have to talk about, right? So deal breakers are, if you do any of these things, I'm out. There's no discussion. I'm out. It's over. And that's why mine are hit me, my kids, or cheat on me, hurt my kids, or cheat on me. Those are the no-nos that I'll walk away without discussion. Everything else, I have other standards, of course, and I demand that they are what they are, but everything else in my life, I figure we could talk about it and maybe get through it. So you have to demand respect in your relationships. You have to learn to love yourself unconditionally as well, which is, it's difficult, but is important. So if things happen to you where you lose, confidence, or you don't like parts of yourself, like I don't really like my, lower stomach area. I've had 3 C-sections. It's not as cute as it used to be. Upper stomach's okay. But I don't focus on the things I don't love about myself. I accept them. I'm like, you know what? I've had 3 babies. My gosh, what do you want from me? And so I embrace the parts of myself that I don't love, and then I focus as much as I can on the parts of myself that I do love. So it's another thing, you have to love yourself in the same way that a mother would love you, almost a good mother, with an unconditional slant, so to speak. So it's a process. You have to be strong, and you have to choose yourself over someone who abuses you. We can talk more about that as we go forward. Allie Wilson says, day number 5, no contact from the narc. Congratulations, Allie. Now phoned yesterday 3 times, one of his many women phoning me today. He moved 500 miles away last Thursday to prove a point. So tired, body aches with stress. Well, I feel you, honey, but you know what, Allie, I can't remember if you guys have kids together, but even if you do, you very rarely will have to speak to him, especially moving 500 miles away. I would consider that a blessing. I'm not surprised that he's phoning you over and over again, because now he's trying to suck you back in. So I want you to stay strong. I want you to consider blocking his phone number, or at least only texting with him from this point forward if it's related to the kids. If you don't have any kids together or any property together, then I would not even speak to him at all if I were you. Congratulations on day number 5. Keep going. It's going to be so worth it. Let him move 500 miles away. That saves you a lot of trouble, really, in the long run. Yeah. Jihan says, feeling that I'm going insane. I don't understand how the insane narc can be seemingly sane to others, and me, the sane person, seem crazy to others. They do that on purpose. They do. There was a situation in my previous relationship where this happened often. I would be, we would be in a group of people, like at a party or something, and the narcissist would emotionally attack me in private. And then I would, like, we would have a moment alone, and I would be emotionally attacked, and then I would walk into a different room, and I would be upset, and nobody would know why. And so I would try to just hide myself till I got over it. And people, of course, thought I was the weird one. And then once the narcissist had emotionally destroyed me by using me as his emotional dumpster, I was, I couldn't talk anymore. I would feel overwhelmed by emotion and upset, and so I would just go and try to hide myself. Well, this would cause everyone, of course, like I said, to think I was the crazy one. It's difficult. So the best thing that that I have found is that I would try to keep myself calm. And I think the best thing you can do is just stay calm, stay focused on what you want, not what you don't want, if that helps at all. Stay focused on being calm around other people. Stay focused on not allowing that narcissist to get to you. Okay. They intentionally try to make us look crazy by emotionally abusing us in private, and then in public acting like Mr. or Miss goody perfect person. And then everybody's like, what's wrong with that person? They don't know why you're so upset. And that's how it works. So the best thing you can do is really practice that gray rock, and you can kind of flip it around on them if you want to. It's going to be terrible, but you really can if you want to. Melissa Duncan says, right now I'm doing therapy and trying to practice self-love and healing. Yeah, that's the best way to go, Melissa, is self-love and healing. Brooke Bain in the house. Hey, Brooke Bain. She says, love your videos. Well, thank you, my friend. I'm glad you're here with us this morning. Thank you. Malta says, I'm great, Angie. Happy Monday. How are you? Malta, I cannot complain. I am happy it is Monday. I'm a little bit annoyed that I have to go get my tire on my car fixed today, but otherwise I'm good. Yes. Bonnie says, why are narcs so secretive? Like secret agent, man. I think that's, Bonnie, because they're liars and they want to hide the truth from you because they know that if you know the truth, you may be empowered by anger or upset. And that's why they're so secretive, because they are pathological liars. Yeah, that's what I think. And they're always looking to get one over on everybody. Let's see. Jihan says, angry, wish I could break a vase on the narc's head, maybe. Oh, anger can be a good thing, my friend. In this stage of the relationship, as you're moving forward, sometimes you need anger to help you move forward. But when you get to the place where the anger is, over, you can, when you get to the place where the anger has become not helpful, when it becomes toxic and it doesn't help you propel forward, then it's time to work on the anger. So, Gian, are you in the position where you are being toxic? Is it toxic now, the anger, or are you still working on getting away and staying away? Let me know. DD says no sounds here. DD, try to refresh, please. Shelly Thomas says, good morning, beautifuls. Good morning, Shelly Thomas. How are you, honey? Scott Johnson says, hands up for Leah. Let's see. Amal says, Angie, update on my narc. Ex came back, the one who cheated on me, got engaged and sent abusive messages, contacted me on my birthday wanting forgiveness. We cleared things up on WhatsApp. But, dun, dun, dun. Okay, Amal. So you guys are friends now, or you're engaged? I don't know. Let me know. I hope that you're not back together with the narc. Jojo Angel says, I couldn't sleep last night. It's been a week since he broke up with me. How can I heal? Oh, honey, I know that's hard. I feel like you've been around longer than a week, Jojo. Am I wrong? So you've been knowing this was a possibility. Healing is a difficult place, but my friend, it is a beautiful thing if you start on it. I want you to start by giving yourself a little bit of time to mourn. I think a week is a good start. Maybe go with 2 weeks total. And during this time, you can cry and throw things and break things and feel sad if you want to. And at the end of next week, or maybe next Monday, a week from today, I want you to wake up in the morning and decide, you know what? I may not be totally over it, but I'm ready to start to move forward, and I'm going to stop crying today. And then you just keep going. Stick with us. We'll help you get through it too, Jojo. Okay? I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Guardian Wolf says, as each week goes by, I get closer to baby arriving. Oh, I can't wait to see pictures. Oh, how awesome. Electric says, so how do you deal with a guy who ghosts you? Well, Electric, you have to recognize that, and I don't have any more details yet, but you have to recognize that you're worth better. You're worth more than that. If he's ghosting you on the regular, maybe you ghost him for good. Just a thought. Rick Mash. Hey, Rick Mash. Welcome back. Happy Monday, guys. Let's see. Jamie B says, does anyone think, what if I was wrong for thinking he is a narc because he hasn't moved on to a new supply in over 2 months and still hoovers every chance he gets? No, Jamie B, you guys were together a long time. And you don't, I know that you moved away from him. I want to say you said it was 300 or 600 miles, but I don't think you were wrong. I think you knew. It is normal for us to doubt ourselves once we're away for a while, especially if we're not seeing them on the regular. It's always easier to appear decent if you aren't living with a person. Remember that. That's why narcissists do so well in long distance relationships. The truth is, Jamie B, and I'm not saying anything negative to you, but it's possible that he does have some new sources of supply that you just haven't been aware of. So be aware of that. The other thing is, not every narcissist, like since you were together as long as you were, it's possible that, maybe he's a covert narcissist. Maybe he's more interested in other things, but his supply could be coming from anywhere. It could be just some girl at work that he talks to, or even, his mother. I don't really know the whole deal with his mother, but there could be lots of different people on his side at this point that you're not aware of. And hoovering is common. They almost never, especially being you guys have been together as long as you were, it's going to be a long time before he stops hoovering. So be aware of that, unless you do something drastic, Oops. Chelsea says, good morning. Yawn. Good morning, Chelsea. How are you? Well, I'm happy to see you here, miss. Amal says, issues is I called up and we both forgave and etc. But now he has my number and has initiated a few times on WhatsApp. I showed him the cold shoulder. Good for you. Gray Rock from Twitter. He knows I'm dating someone else. Okay. Yeah, he's trying to hoover you back in, Amal. He's trying to suck you back in. And he's laid low for weeks now. What's your view on his intentions? My view is he's trying to suck you back in. That's why he would, now that he knows you're dating someone else, he's trying to suck you back in for sure. No doubt about it. Yep. Melissa says, way to go, Leah. Take 7 days. Take it one day at a time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Amal says, oh yeah, I got you already. Okay. Shelly Tom. Okay, everybody can hear me. That's good news. Good news. Okay. Audio and video is good. Thank you, Malta. All right, let's see. Leah says to Malta, thanks so much. Jamie B says, wakey, Chelsea. Loves it. Okay, let's see. I lost my place. I don't want to miss anybody. It's so important. Let me scroll back up. Okay, here we are. Okay. Let's see. I'm loud and clear. Very good. Free at Last 38. Hey, Free at Last. Welcome. Says, yes, loud and clear. Very good. Oh, wait, that was Guardian Wolf. Hello. Thank you. Free at Last says, beautiful people. Hi, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful Free at Last. Brooke Bain says, currently trying to save my marriage with who I think is a narc. Oh, Brooke, I'm so sorry. Are you sure you want to save that marriage? How long have you guys been together? Tell me some details. Chelsea says, hi, Malta. Summer vacay isn't conducive to waking early. Ain't that the truth, girl? Anna Bautista says, Angie, hi, Angie. Greetings from Manila. Oh, hey, Anna. Welcome. From Manila. Cool. Stop the Chaos. Hey, Stop the Chaos. Welcome back. Says, hi, Angie. After a weekend of very low contact, he insisted I still have feelings for him. Hoovering. I'm just throwing it in there. I told him I just want to be left out of his life decisions. He reached out last night, depressed, hoovering. Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things they do with hoovering, you guys. Not only do they try to love bomb you and all that stuff, but sometimes it'll be a tragedy issue or a depression, or I want to kill myself, or my dog's sick, or, I need your help with something and I can't, nobody else in the world can help me. That's hoovering. Yes. He's trying to suck you back in. Do not fall for it, my friend. Jojo Angel says, one day you're the love of my life. I turn down sex. Next day it's over. 3 years and breakups by him. I'm emotionally drained and heartbroken. 7 days since I've heard from him. Okay, Jojo, listen. What I want you to do is I want you to count your blessings. And I know it's hard right now, but I want you to know that if you can hold on for just a couple more weeks, don't talk to him, don't try to reach out to him. It's going to start to get better and better. 3 years is long enough to be painfully brainwashed by a narcissist. And I'm not saying that I want you all to understand that when I say somebody can be brainwashed, I don't mean that you're weak-minded or anything like that. You're very intelligent. It's that they are also, they very slowly and methodically teach you who they want you to be, and they expect you to act like that all the time. And it's difficult. And I know one day you're the love of my life and the next day it's over. That is a narcissist for you. And I hope, Jojo, that you don't fall for any hoovering attempts. And I hope that you start to move forward for yourself in order to make your life better and to make everything okay for yourself. Because the fact is, what we tend to do when we are empaths who have been broken by narcissists is we tend to feel, like you say, emotionally drained and heartbroken. And when they do hoover us, sometimes we just feel relieved that they're back in our lives. So I don't want you to go that route. What I'd like you to do is start to work on yourself. I'd like you to start to work on unconditionally loving yourself. Stay focused on, again, what you want, not what you don't want. And I'd like you to work on not wanting the narcissist back, because you will be the abuse will continue. It does not change. Even if you do get back together, any positives will only last a short time until they, until he realizes that his hooks are back in you, and then you're going to be back to the same old, same old. Yeah. Melissa Duncan says, whoops, where was I? There I am. Melissa Duncan says, this is for Living Kintsugi. I'm going through the same thing. I'm trying to figure it out as well. Hang in there. I love how you guys support each other. This is such a beautiful group of people in this chat. Amber Barnett, hey Amber, says, hi Angie and survivors. Hello Amber. Electric says, thank you. Well, we lived together. He broke up with me, went no contact. Then 18 months later, when I totally moved on, he comes back. Oh no. 15 months later, disappeared on me again, ignoring me. Okay, sweetie. Say goodbye to this one. I would seriously say goodbye to this one. That is shit. Pardon me. When you're living together and then he breaks up with you and goes no contact, and then you finally got over it and then he comes back. No, don't keep taking that. Don't let him come back again. The third time is not a charm. Okay. I suggest that you start taking care of yourself. I suggest that you start focusing on what you want in your life. So what are you passionate about? What do you care about? What makes you happy besides the narcissist? Let's talk about that. Leah Carter says, to hair changes colors, I needed a break too. You have to process what you have learned and put it to use. You really do have this. Absolutely the truth. Absolutely. Martin Hill says, I want to know how to recover mentally and emotionally after helping a narc financially, working with them through their emotional abuse issues, only to be thrown under the bus and slandered by NPD. Huh. Only to be... So basically what you're saying is that you got together with a narcissist and you helped them financially, you helped them work through emotional abuse issues, and then the narcissist dumped your ass and slandered you and smeared you, yeah? That's horrible, and I'm sorry. I suggest that you start by loving yourself and taking care of yourself, doing the things that you weren't allowed to do during the relationship. Can you tell me how long you guys were together, Martin? It helps to know that. Are we talking about like a marriage? Or are we just talking about a friendship? I think the biggest thing is to focus on not wanting them back. I think and that sounds silly, but we even when we've been so abused by these people, there's a part of ourselves that would be like, okay, we'll take them back if they come back, because we're addicted, and as empaths, we want to help people and we want to help them in any way that we can. And so when they come back to us and they're like, I'm so sorry, I messed up, blah, blah, blah. We're like, oh, okay, we forgive you, because as empaths, we want to forgive people. We want to help people. Martin's situation is a perfect example of that, because he says, I helped them work through their issues. I helped them financially. I helped them recover. I helped them do all these things. And then they turned around and shot me in the head with that type of behavior. Well, Martin, that's exactly what they do. And the smear campaigns are the worst. If you're dealing with smear campaigns, the best thing you can do is to not speak to people who don't believe you. And if you're speaking to people who you think will believe you, then say, you know who I am, I didn't do that. And if you think that I did that, then maybe we need to, separate our friendship a little bit. You need to pull back mentally and otherwise. Be careful. Ellen May says, yes, Bonnie, like secret agent men. Absolutely. Yeah. Guardian Wolf says, preparing to take back my household items from Paul. He wants my stuff out even though I've been paying him. Well, that's ridiculous. Stop paying him, first of all, and get your stuff. I'm sorry that you're going through that, Guardian Wolf, especially being pregnant. That's the absolute worst. The worst time to have to go through it. I'm so sorry. I want you to stay strong, and I want you to, focus on, I don't know if you've already got kids or if this is your first baby, Guardian Wolf, but I know as a mother, I'm a lot stronger when I act from a mother perspective. So I want you to think about being a mommy here and doing what you need to do to make life good for your baby. It's a start. Electric says, I've noticed hot and cold cycles, though during this 15 months, I wish I'd never given him another chance now. 15 months. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. And I hope that you don't give him another chance, because when they ghost you like that, they are definitely not going to come around. They're definitely not going to be different. I mean, he's obviously got a little, like you said, cycles. And hot and cold cycles are normal for narcissists. It's the whole relationship cycle. You start out with your love bombing and your idealization phase. In the beginning, everything's amazing. And then you go to the devalue phase and they start noticing things about you that are wrong and they don't like. And they start picking on tiny things, sometimes very subtly. And then this comes back around to, you know, discard. Whether you're discarded for real or you're just mentally discarded and they ignore you for a while, it's the cycle. And then they come back around and they love bomb and they hoover and then they start devaluing and discarding again. And the cycle can go on for many years. I've talked to people who've been together with their spouses for 40 years and the cycle continued the whole time. It's exhausting. It makes you feel crazy. And that's exactly what they want, I think. Hello, Anna. Hello, and Electric says hello to Anna. And Anna says hi, awesome people. All right, let's see here. Leah Carter says, thanks for your support, everyone. Very blessed. Love it, Leah. That is beautiful, my friend. Phyllis says, good morning, Angie and everyone. Hey, Phyllis, welcome back. Happy to see you today. And Hair Changes Color says to Leah Carter, yes, it can be overwhelming trying to get life back together, for sure. But still totally worth the trouble. I promise you. Promise you. Martin Hill says, then to have my employment, oh my gosh, sabotaged by the narc and working to recover from that. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, Martin, that sounds like a situation where you might want to move or do something different. My kids are fighting out here, it sounds like. Melissa says, hello, David. Hello, Melissa and David. Okay, Wendy Wonka, great name, says, hi, survivors. Hey, Wendy. Thomas, hey, Thomas. Thomas says, good morning to you all. Scott Johnson says, this is for what you do if you think your house is being entered when you are not home. Ooh. Scott, that is a very good question. Change the locks, my friend. Don't be scared. Change the locks. It's not that expensive. You could probably do it yourself. It takes just a few minutes. Go to the store, buy new locks, and then you'll know for sure. Maybe get yourself a little camera, a motion detector camera. I will be responding to somebody's email about that one today. Shelly Thomas says, Martin Hill joining support groups like Angie's is a great start. Yes, thank you, Shelly. Healing from this, and Martin, you can do that at queenbeing.com/span, SPAN. Thank you, Shelly. Healing from this abuse is a long journey, she says. Be patient, compassionate, and understanding with yourself. Absolutely, Shelly. Thank you so much. Those are all incredibly insightful pieces of advice. Chelsea says, Emily, yay. Shelly says, hi, Wendy. Melissa says, what? Wait, I can't see what she says. Way to go, Emily. Oh, and I like those little dancers you got there, Melissa. That's super cute. Shelly Thomas says, hi, free at last. Jouncey G, hey, Jouncey, welcome back. Says, going back east to attend an event for my little grandson. The narc will be there. I haven't seen or talked to him for a year. Ooh, I'm very nervous. Any advice? Jouncey, look hot and do not even blink. Just gray rock the crap out of him. Be sweet to everyone. If he tries to speak to you, only speak back to him if you're forced to. And if so, be polite and short and to the point. If you can avoid him entirely, do that. Make sure you look really good that day. That's my advice. Gray rock, gray rock, gray rock. Yes, my suggestion. And look hot, just because it'll make you feel better. Bonnie says, I don't like that word codependent either, right? I don't like it either. Malta says to Emily, that is so awesome to hear. Way to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Irish Indian says, good morning, Angie and Tribe. How was everyone's weekend? Mine was not too bad, Irish. How about yours? Stop the Chaos says, why does he think I should be concerned with his feelings when he completely disregards mine? Right? I know. He then makes rude comments at every chance he can. Then he wants me to feel bad for him when he's not happy. This is the hallmark of a narcissist, my friend. Zero empathy, and yet you're supposed to bend over backwards for every tiny emotion they feel. That's why he's a narcissist. At least I'm not diagnosing him. I'm just saying it sounds like he's a narcissist. But I think that that is very common. That is, I bet you every single person in this entire chat right now would agree that that is probably a narcissistic behavior. That's a narcissistic behavior for sure. Yeah. They have no empathy. That's why they have no empathy, and yet they have very strong feelings that are usually related to they feel like they're being screwed over or slighted, or somebody's trying to get over on them, or somebody's not paying enough attention. It's all focused on, I mean, every now and then they might have a legit concern here and there, of course, but in general, yeah, they become not happy about the tiniest, strangest things. Yeah. Yeah. And when we're with them, we know it. And when we see it happening, we get nervous and scared. You know, like if they're not getting enough attention at a party, for example, they might shoot you a look and you know, oh, crap, now they're in a bad mood. And if you're the one getting the attention, God forbid, you're in trouble when you get home. Watch out. You know, yeah, it's no good. And then if you don't like hurry up and drag them into the conversation or make them the center of attention again, it starts over and it gets worse. Yeah, I know. I know. Shelly Thomas says, hey, Irish Indian, had a great weekend. Weather was amazing. Oh, yeah, the weather was, it was hot. But, you know, hey, we got to go swimming over here. Jihan says, can't have a healthy, non-codependent relationship after narcissistic abuse. Well, that's not true. You actually can, but you just have to give yourself a little time to heal first. It is possible to have a healthy, non-codependent relationship. Yes, it is, my friend. Irish Indian, Malta says, welcome. And let's see here. Malta, you're the best. Okay, Emily says, thanks so much, Angie, and everyone. I wish I could spread this feeling. It's the pulsating force inside me that wants to burst out. I never thought this could happen. I wish the same win for you all. Do you guys hear this? It gets better. It gets better. All right. It gets better. Just please know that you're not crazy. Please know that it gets better. Emily right here today is our example. Several of our people today have given us some excellent examples, and it really does get better. It does. Yes. Martin says, thanks for helping to set boundaries and become an empowered empath. Oh, I love it. Yes. We must become empowered empaths. That is the truth, 100%. Yes, absolutely. Malta says, Emily Driftwood, you deserve it, and your story is positive and inspirational for all of us. I love it. I love it too, and I love that you acknowledge that, Malta. Thank you. Jamie B says, sounds awesome, Emily. You're definitely doing something right. Right? I know, exactly. Totally. Emily, you're rocking this. Jihan says, you know the egocentric state, imaginary audience. Yep. She says, I have this, but not out of egocentrism, really. Just as a defense mechanism after trauma. You get me? Oh, I get you. Yeah, I get you. And that's, you know, that's interesting, and it's very true. We do pick up certain characteristics when we're in these relationships, and this may be one of them. I want you to be careful, but I want you to love yourself enough to be okay with whatever happens. You know, I want you to let your real self come out and not worry so much about that audience now that you're pulling away. Yep. Bonnie says, waking up after 31 years, realizing you are indeed with a malignant narcissist is a nightmare. Trying to unravel it is the biggest nightmare. Oh, honey, I know. And 31 years, you're like, holy crap, what have I been doing with my life? I know. But I'm going to tell you something. It's never too late. You can be happy. You can find the truth. You can. And you're living proof of that right now, Bonnie. Yeah, it's going to get better. I promise you. Martin Hill says, thank you, Shelly. Bonnie says, I like that, Martin Hill, empowered empath. I love that term. I love it too. It's beautiful. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Jamie B says, big hugs and positive vibes to you, Bonnie. You are strong enough to come out of this on top. You must believe this in your bones. I totally agree. Shelly says to Jouncy G, maybe do some role play in your mind or with someone you trust and understand, and someone who understands the abuse of what may be the inevitable interaction with a narcissist, so you'll know how you'll react. Yeah, I totally agree, Shelly. Pay attention. She says, I'm trying to see the rest of her thing. Pay attention to how your body feels and obviously what emotions you experience during the role play. I think that's a great idea. If nothing else, talk to yourself in the mirror that way. It's a good start. And definitely look really good that day, because I'm telling you, I know it sounds silly, but it really helps with your confidence. Find an outfit that you feel fabulous in. Make sure your hair is just right. Get your nails done. Whatever makes you feel good, and do that. Look good and feel good that day. Just a thought. Melissa Duncan says, yes, I have researched empaths. I do believe I'm very kind, very empathic and kind-hearted to others, and that has led to most of the pain in my life. Right? I agree. Thank you, Angie. You're amazing. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate. She said, I appreciate your advice so much. Thank you, Melissa. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Shelly Thomas. Oh yeah, we got that one. Okay. Yes. Jamie B says, John CG, gray rock, gray rock, gray rock. You got this. I agree. You got this. Malta says to Jamie B, I am feeling your positivity. Good morning and thank you. Hugs. Aw. Yeah, Jamie B is another example of someone who is getting through it, and in a beautiful way most days. Yes, we all have our bad days. We all do. But that's okay. That's why we're all here to support each other. That's right. Emily says, Jamie B, I think rage helped me get out. Yes, it does. It does. And loving myself like the mom I should have had helped me to get there. Oh, Emily, that makes my heart just smile. Thank you. She says, I wish I could bottle this emotion in peace and ship it out to you all. So worth the struggle. You guys, I want you to really, really hear what Emily's saying. She's saying that, you know, literally everything that I teach is what she's saying. It's all about loving yourself. Use the rage to get out. Love yourself like the mom you should have had. It changes your whole life. It does, in such a beautiful way. Please hear what Emily is saying. This is all very good stuff. Guardian Wolf says, I would love to move, but I'm scared of major change. Well, honey, I feel you, but major change is not a bad thing sometimes when our life sucks a little bit. And now it might be the time to, I mean, I know you're just weeks away from this baby coming, and so that might be not the best time, but it's going to be easier to move while you're pregnant than it is to move while you're having a new baby. I'm just saying. Yeah. Tamara Rhodes says, and obviously you're going to need help. Don't be carrying anything that you're supposed to, you know, heavy or anything. Tamara Rhodes says, it's been 3 months since I went no contact with my narc, and I finally wrote the letter to him and burned it. I still can't get the thoughts of him out of my head, and it's making it hard to move forward. Okay, so Tamara, now that you've written the letter and you burned it, I want you to start focusing on intentional thought management. I want you to do this for the next 2 weeks, okay? For the next 2 weeks, every single time you think about the narcissist, I want you to go, nope, I now cancel that thought and I replace it with this affirmation of my true divine desire, and then say something you want, okay? So if you're like, oh my God, I'm so lonely, I can't stand this, I want you to just stop and go, no, I now cancel that thought and I replace it with this affirmation of my true divine desire. I am moving forward and I'm attracting new, more positive relationships into my life, you know, or whatever it is. Think about things that you want and not things that you don't want. You know that even if you partially still want the narcissist in some part of your head, that's the addiction speaking to you. That's not the real deal. So you have to dig deep and find out what you do want. Don't think about a specific person. What do you really want in a relationship? Do you really want someone who's going to abuse you and ignore you and neglect you? Or do you want someone who's going to be on the same level as you and someone who you connect with spiritually, emotionally, mentally, intellectually? I mean, wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? Sexually, even at some point, you know. Focus on what you want and not what you don't want. Even if you can't think about us, you know, I don't want you to think, I want you to work on attracting more positive people and situations into your life. And the best way to do that is to intentionally manage your thoughts. I don't care if you have to come up with a single mantra like, you know, I am happy. Try listening to positive. I have a positive playlist I try to listen to almost every morning. And the mornings I do listen, I always feel better. And I'll put it in my ears while I'm walking around in the morning, or excuse me, of going out in the world. It really, really makes a difference. It really does. Yeah. Jay maybe says, Malta, thanks for your kind words, friend. Oh, I love you guys. You're so sweet. Shelly says, and yes, Jay maybe is absolutely right. You can practice gray rocking during the role play, so it's easier to do it if you can't avoid the narc. Yes, absolutely. Hair Changes Color says, yes, Angie, I felt the same way, like I could not speak, and people would think I'm the emotionally unstable one. Absolutely. Yeah. And they will if you're not careful. But that's why you have to just stay calm. It's really hard because you feel so emotionally bowled over, devastated, But yet you've got to do it that way. You've got to stay focused on what you want, not what you don't want. And you've got to stay focused on what you can control and not what you can't control. And as soon as possible, step away from all of that mess. Yeah. Yeah. Shelly Thomas says, be patient with yourself, Rhodes. Yeah. Jihan says, is it possible to heal without a therapist? Possible, yes. Yes. And especially if you get involved with support groups like this one, like SPAN, and like any other, support group, it's possible. But if you find yourself not able to, get out of the hole that you found yourself in or whatever, then you might want to start working toward getting a therapist, or a coach, even someone that you can talk to. Sometimes just a friend can help. You just need someone that can help you, give you a reality check sometimes when you're feeling really low. Rachel Maria, hey Rachel, says, hi survivors, welcome, welcome. Emily says, Jamie B. Emily says, hold on. Jamie B says to Emily, that's great. Isn't it incredible how powerful the mind is? If you believe it, it's true. Yes. How long have you been out of the relationship? She says. Beautiful. And I totally agree with both of you ladies. Shelly says, Tamara, healing takes a long time. I've had to be so forgiving and patient with myself. That is an excellent point. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to forgive yourself, because a lot of us in this room right now, in this chat right now, we're highly intelligent people, right? And we're mad at ourselves because we fell for that crap. We're like, we knew better. Why did we fall for that? Well, it's not our fault. You have to recognize that what has happened is that very slowly over time, they have slowly conditioned you to fall from where you could be with self-esteem, to doubt yourself, to depend on them, to all this other stuff. But Jamie B's right, and Shelly's right. It takes a long time, and you have to be forgiving to yourself and patient with yourself, and you have to love yourself like a good mother would have loved you or should have loved you. Yeah. Emily says to Jihan, I, for example, did it without one. Yeah. Took lots of guts, tears, and sweat to do it, but it's possible. Exactly. Yeah, I did it without one too. Yeah. Madeline says, please define gray rock. Oh, hi, Madeline. Gray rock is when you do not give them any of your emotion, okay? So if there was a narcissist standing right here in front of me right now and they said, Angie, you're stupid and ugly and I hate everything about you, I would just be like, oh, that's very interesting that you think that. Mm-hmm. And I would not show them any emotion. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's simple. It's hard to do, especially when you know that person, but I promise you it will surprise them if they're used to getting an emotional reaction from you. And then, basically it's, you give them the opposite reaction of that which they expect. And usually they expect you to react emotionally, and that's not what we're doing here. So, yeah. And Madeline, I've done tons of videos on that. Just go to my channel and type in gray rock, and I've got more detailed definitions for you there. Sasha says, good morning. Up too early. Good morning, Sasha Bittner. Welcome, and I'm sorry that it's too early. Shelly Thomas says, Jihan, I believe so. I have, without a traditional therapist. Right, exactly. Yeah, me too. Guardian Wolf says, gray rock takes practice. I'm still trying to understand how to do it. Guardian Wolf, I suggest you check out the videos on my channel, and please let me know if you need more detail. I'll be happy to provide that. Sarah Kay says, I'm so confused. Hi, Sarah Kay. I'm so confused. My narc came back after 21 days. He's saying all the right things. I feel like I have more tools now. Can they be managed until I'm in a better place to leave for good? They can, but I don't recommend it. But you can manage them. You can gray rock them, and you can, whatever you need to do. 21 days is just enough time for him to go and have another relationship. So how do you feel about that? I would say, of course, he's saying all the right things. I need you to be careful, Sarah. I wouldn't fall for it, but if you need him financially, and then do what you need to do, I guess. But yeah, they can be managed. It's not easy, and it's high maintenance. You basically, in order to manage them, you have to make them think everything's their idea, and you can never criticize them directly. And if you do, you have to do so very carefully and make them think that they made that change on their own. And you can't act like you want them too much, but you have to act like you want them enough when they want you to want them. It's a whole process. I've done videos on it. Yeah, it does work. You can do it. It sucks. It's hard work, and I wouldn't want to do it. And you'll still get abused in the process, just not as often if you manage them. Yeah, but it's not worth it. I would not recommend it. Malta says, Allie Wilson, 500 miles, amazing job. Yes. David says, hello, Melissa Duncan. Shelly Thomas says, traditional therapy for me has been unhelpful and re-traumatizing. Yes, that's the thing about a lot of the traditional therapists. They do not understand what you're going through. They don't educate them about this in school. I mean, at least they didn't before. I'm hoping they're beginning to now. We'll see. But a lot of therapists who haven't experienced it don't know about it. And then they'll just, they will victim blame. It's really terrible. Yeah. Sandra Jackson says, thank you for all your support. My pleasure, Sandra, I can't even talk today. Happy you're here with us. Thank you for being here, Sandra. Malta says, we are presently live. If you are experiencing audio video troubles, Angie is asking you to refresh the stream. Thank you. Thank you, Malta. Electric says, we lived together, broke up with me, no contact, initiated by him for 18 months, comes back. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, lots of hot and cold cycles. Okay. Electric, I would go no contact for good with him and not give him another chance if he comes back. My advice. Jihan says, anger, well, it is not toxic. Yep, I want to get it out because I always suppress it, because to the narc, expressing anger equals crazy. Huh, yep. But he can rage in a passive aggressive way. Yeah. Well, then Jihan, if you're not toxic yet and you're still, get it out, girl. Just start doing it. Yeah, absolutely. And it will help propel you forward up to a point. So as long as it's not toxic for you, then use it to your advantage. And when it becomes toxic, let go of it. All right. Anna says the narc apologizes and says things like it is a process he's going through and that he misses me like crazy. Of course he says things like that. He wants to get you back in his supply, tunnel or whatever. So just stay focused on what you really want, Anna. And I think that is peace. I think that is love of a real nature, not a fake, selfish kind of thing. Stay focused on what you want, not what you don't want. Don't fall for it, my friend. Bonnie says, my anarch husband makes an art out of triangulating my grown children. Oh, it's horrible. Like he is trying to turn them into a surrogate wife. There is such a thing like that. I've heard it called like daughter wife or son husband, and it's very toxic. It's, someone who goes through a divorce or whatever, or sometimes when someone dies, they'll turn one of their children into the surrogate, and it's awful. Narcissists are famous for it, and it is creepy. I hope that your children are not falling for it, Bonnie. I'm going to have to go in a second here, guys. Hi, Donna Doherty. I got some of your emails. How are you doing, honey? She says, hi, everybody. Electric says, sorry, chat is slow. Not your problem. Don't even worry about it. It's just because I try to catch everybody as I can, Mavis says, feeling much better now. Thanks for your support. Oh, Mavis, I'm so glad to hear that you're feeling better, honey. Thank you so much for letting me know. All right, let's see. Malta says, Donna. Good morning, Donna. Melissa says, hang in there, Jojo. It does get better, I promise. Takes time. Yeah, absolutely. Shelly Thomas says, Guardian Wolf, I agree. Gray Rock takes practice. That's why I think role-playing with a trusted person or therapist or support group that understands this abuse would be helpful, at least for me. Absolutely helpful, yes. Hair changes color says, hello, Donna. Emily says, Jamie, it's been about a year since I decided to gather my strength and kick him out, but he only took his last stuff in March, on and off for 6 horrible years, and now even my body feels healthier. Oh yes, my friend. It is amazing how that works. Sonia Warren says, good morning. You have helped me tremendously. I had no idea what happened to me for all those years. I have been there, my friend, and I'm so glad that I could help a little bit. Thank you so much. Shelly Thomas says, good for you. Emily Driftwood. Teresa Tromke's back. Hey, Teresa, welcome back, honey. She says, good morning, Angie. You are so awesome. Thank you for helping others. My pleasure, Teresa. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Living Kintsugi says, uh-oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? Da-da-da. Emily. Okay, here it is. If the narc tells kids bad things about you in front of you, how do you say, no, that's not true without contributing to fighting in front of the kids? I can't remember how old your kids are, but something that I've done is I've said, in situations where like my other narcissists in my life have tried to do that in front of my children. Today, I've said, my kids know who I am, and I know they won't believe you. So it's fine. Just like that. And that's the best thing you can do. Again, kids, you know who I am. You know I didn't do that. The same thing you would say to anybody when the narc tries to smear you. If they don't know who you are, they're probably not your kids. Your kids know you didn't do that if you just put it that way. It's a start. And it makes them think. I don't know how old they are, so it depends. That depends as well on how you would deal with it. All right. I'm sorry, Chelsea. Chelsea says it's exhausting just listening to Angie describe how to manage a narc. That's no good. But it is exhausting managing a narc. Rick says mine started the love bombing this weekend after a horrific week. I figure if she's been fake the past 6 years, I can do a little acting myself to bide myself some time. Absolutely. Just be careful not to fall for it for real. Yeah, Sonia Warren says my therapy was used against me in a smear campaign. Common, yeah. Chelsea says, oh yeah, I got that one. Shelly says, Rick Mash, for me, developing my acting skills with an arc has been life-saving. Yeah, sadly, it's true. I missed Freedom Lee's comment. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I've got to go. It's 10:34, but I want to tell you all, thank you so much for being here. I will keep the chat and look through everything. I will be here again tomorrow morning for another live chat as usual. And tomorrow is Talk to Me Tuesday, so I'll also be back at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And I'll be back today for another video. All right. Thanks so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours. Thank you for being part of my tribe, you guys. It means so, so much to me. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Hugs and love to all of you. And I am outie.